Welcome back to Revenue Margin, brought to you by Rob Malenik. I want to talk today about why your company needs to have a board advisor. Specifically, a lot of organizations in that mid-tier size space, when you're or smaller, from $5 million to $200 million in size, don't typically have a board necessarily if they're privately owned. Those organizations are missing out on a key talent that will allow them to have 20 times the value growth that you would have associated with the expense. Specifically, they're looking at an individual that would bring to your organization strategic growth advisory, allowing you to grow potentially 10 to 20% greater than what you had done without them, because they bring in that advice, the guidance that you would need to have to be able to think outside the box to be able to grow your organization. There's risk mitigation and crisis navigation, specifically about how you deal with problems and what you should be doing to avoid illegal pitfalls or losses for your organization. Access to capital, understanding how to be able to go and get money to be able to fund your organization's growth and be able to identify those relationships. Leadership development, thinking about your own individual leadership development as an owner, but also your key staff members. You might have an amazing controller who just needs guidance associated from a board member that will allow them to be able to grow into a greater ability level than where they're at today. Credibility and reputation is actually a very important piece too, because having an understanding of what that person would bring to your organization. If you brought in somebody from creative planning or from a very highly touted background for an individual, that person's credibility brings something to your organization. That organization brings credibility to your company and what you can be able to talk to about associated with that company, having a board advisory role for your organization and help guiding your company. And then lastly is that it really helps you be able to understand what you should be doing to prep yourself for potentially exits or valuation moving forward, and how you'll be able to grow the organization and exit that company at some point to be able to gain value, be it being transitioned within from father to son, or being able to sell to a private equity firm, or selling to a private strategic buyer. Overall, a board advisory role easily generates over 20 times the value that you're investing in the position, that is easily trackable, and greater multitudes than that of indirect value to your organization and guidance to be able to effectively really grow your company. If you don't have a board advisory role yet today in your company, you should reach out to me today so we can talk further about how we can get a board advisory position at your organization to help you grow. Thank you once again for joining Revenue and Margin, brought to you by Rob Malenik. Hope to see you in the future.